And we're back with another episode of NBA Observations. It's Gerald Glassford. Truly glad to have you here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be notified. And I'm talking to you, Vari, out there in Australia, down under. So you could be notified when the latest episode of NBA Observations, the Lakers Fast Break, Lakers Weekend, whatever shows up on this channel, you'll be able to know ahead of time because you hit that notification bell, Vari. So go ahead and make sure you do before, and be covered on that. Plus, also again, like and subscribe. Always need those subscribers to help us out right here at Lakers Fast Break and NBA Observations. But it wouldn't be an NBA Observations without a good observer. And I know some of our friends that are on this show are taking some time off for the summer because, gosh darn it, the news has started to dry up. But a good man is here indeed. I do have a chance to talk to him about some things that are going on with his teams that he needs to go ahead and talk about today. It is, of course, the man behind I Got Next Sports Media. It is, of course, my good friend, Legend. Great to have you back on the show, my friend.
I'm happy to be back. We can make some good basketball conversation with the slow news. Thank you, LeBron, for that part. It's on you.
Absolutely. LeBron Watch 2026 is still on. And again, Legend, it's, whatever we say about what the Lakers and Rob Pelinka has done, and, you could be mad, you could be sad, be glad. I'm just, just that albatross of LeBron has been lifted off my shoulders, and I am now just can relax so much. And I know that my man at Drip Show Shop on social media had told me on the live show that we did, I think the one that you were on about a week ago, he said, you could take that canvas art down of LeBron James with the king and the goat putting on the crown that I had. It was actually in the side because that's where I had space for it. And I didn't want to tell him, Legend, I did it a couple days earlier. So, yes. So, with that said and done, LeBron Watch is still on. Obviously, that's something that a lot of teams out there can go ahead and deal with. And I'm sure we'll report it when that happens. But there are some good things going on in the summer that have now transpired. Summer League has come and gone here in Vegas. But your Warriors, with Yaxel Lendeborg, they proved to be victorious over the Lakers on Saturday and over Memphis on Sunday to get the coveted title of Summer League champions. Yaxel Lendeborg, a older rookie coming in about 24 years old, but someone who could gain, already has a lot of experience, more of a finished product, ready to go as far as the rotation is concerned. What do you see for the roadmap ahead of, I believe, who was the Summer League MVP in Yaxel Lendeborg?
I think he's gonna be somebody who can come in and contribute right away. Like, I'm not expecting him to come out here and give us 20 plus, but I think he can come in off the bench and give us at least around 15 points a game. I think he can definitely do that. And him being already an older rookie, I actually like that a lot because at least I know he's gonna come in and be more mature in the game and more already ready to step in a role versus a 19 or even a 20-year-old coming into the league who probably got some growing up to do and some maturing to do and need to gain some muscle. He's already coming in with mostly all of that already. So that's the big thing I like about him. And I think he's going to be able to contribute early. I think he's going to be a really big contributor coming into this roster.
There you go. Someone who has the ability to do different things, guard multiple positions, comes from a winning program as far as his last stop in his college career in Michigan with the national title. So absolutely looking forward to seeing what he'll do as an older rookie, seeing that he may be able to contribute more right away. Now, again, the development as far as a player like him may not be as the climb might not be as gradual or as steep as what maybe some of these younger kids that are 19, 20 coming into the league, but still, you've got someone out there that looks more like a finished product. And I think his fact that he is more of a man than a young man,
Mhm.
I think helped him in situations that we saw during the course of summer league, and his ability to go ahead and have that experience already playing a lot of basketball. I think really helped him out as far as to get to where it's going with Golden State during the course of summer, and looks like he'll be a good rotation piece. Where do you fit him in on Golden State's roster? Because again, the we don't know about LeBron, Draymond Green, his situation where he's coming back, but he opted out. So trying to figure that one out as far as trying to help out to get LeBron, and if he doesn't get LeBron, then he gets signed back. So where does that leave a kid like Yaxel Lendeborg as far as a rotation on Golden State is concerned?
I think he can at least be a good either between 6 to 7 or 8, somewhere in that range, off that bench. I think he can really be on that second unit. I think he's one of them type of guys because he's already ready and already got like an NBA body pretty much. He's ready to be on at least that second unit. Whether you have him as a sixth man, seventh, or eighth man, he should be in that second unit. I see no reason why he don't be on that second unit at this point. He's pretty much ready.
Well, there you go. Indeed, for Golden State, that's going to be obviously something that they need for a team that's still looking to try and keep that window open with that last gasp that they're trying to go ahead and create for Steph Curry before he heads out to retirement. They've already, I just read the news that they've got a first active player to ever have a wing in the Hall of Fame devoted to him, which is great to see and much deserved. So again, what that leads into with Golden State, we'll have to wait to see how good that makes them as a team this upcoming season. And again, we don't know the situation as far as LeBron and where he's going to end up, and so we'll see exactly if Golden State is a stop on as far as his.
I hope not.
You hope not. We'll see if it's the stop on his tour, indeed. But your other team has also made the news over the course of the weekend because they were part of a three-team trade with Lou Dort going to Atlanta, 3 second-round picks going back to OKC, Ryan Nembhard going to Atlanta, and Zachary Richichet, former number one overall pick, going to Dallas. Your thoughts
Mm,
on this
mm,
as
mm.
far as the switching is concerned? Richichet fell out of favor in Quinn Snyder's rotation, looking like a draft disappointment, trying to resurrect his career in Dallas. Ryan Nembhard is a backup coming in as far as the point guard is concerned. And then Lou Dort on the final year of his contract at 17 million. It looks like that the cost savings of Oklahoma City, which this summer has chopped off over $200 million in tax payments with the moves that they made. Your thoughts on what Atlanta is doing? They also got Wiggins as well. They've made some moves. Got to have some. I think they got to, like the Lakers. They have to cut a couple of contracts because they got 17 players on Atlanta. With that said, though, right now, what is the look of your team going forward with Lou Dort, now an Atlanta Hawk?
Right now, looking at that roster, got a lot of good defensive stoppers on this team. So the Hawks should be in a top defensive rating this upcoming season. Should be in somewhere around that range. And we actually got some toughness on the team too, bringing in Mr. Lou Dort. I like to call him Mr. Football Tackle because he's gonna definitely play his football style out there. Um, got toughness on the team. Should be a top rated defense. I feel like at this point we just need to try to get maybe one like a really good co-star to go with Jalen Johnson, which I'm thinking I got an idea who they probably gonna go for next year. If what I'm thinking is gonna happen, we coming for your aunt, bring you home. But other than that, I think that's what they're doing, building a team around defense right now, getting a lot of good young guys that can continue to develop, and then probably when we get to that Anthony Edwards sweepstakes, have a sweet package for Minnesota to get Ant back at home.
We'll see what happens, but again, the Hawks, like you said, have a lot of versatility along the wings. Shooting, I think, still be
Yeah, that's gonna
something
be an
that you may
issue.
have. Yeah, you have to address on that. CJ McCollum, I think a lot as far as his scoring ability. even at his age, is going to have to be relied upon a lot too. Does he come off the bench? Does he start with your team? That's the part I really can't figure out as of yet with what Atlanta is going to do.
Yeah, that's the part I haven't figured out either. Do you bring him off the bench? Do you start him? Even at his age, you're gonna be asking a lot because even though this roster has such amazing defensive players on his team, you're lacking a lot of shooting, and your offense is gonna be still probably an issue. One of the reasons why they got their butts blown out against the Knicks in that game 6, you couldn't score. Nobody on this team could score. You were struggling to score, and that looking like it's gonna still be an issue. So they need to address that shooting, need to bring a little bit more offense, but still want to keep some flexibility to where if Ant becomes available, you got a nice trade package to get him.
Yes, absolutely. And again, they still have 17 players on the roster, so they'll have to figure out how they're going to go ahead and shave a couple players off their roster. And I noticed that like the Lakers they have 16 on their roster. So some of these teams, you're allowed to keep up to 20 through the summer, and then you got to make a decision before obviously opening night to go ahead and shave down to 15. So we'll see how some of these players are get moved around or on the fringes and whatnot. But with that said, Atlanta is a very intriguing team. I don't know where I put them yet. Again, I don't want to start my projections too early, like no Joker already has for the Lakers, as I put on there as far as on the Lakers Fast Break page already for his detailed thoughts on the Los Angeles Lakers. But they're interesting. I know they have some things that I'd like to see that they would, go ahead and fix, but Atlanta is certainly interesting as far as what it can throw at people defensively along the wing.
Yeah, they got a lot of different versatile options they can throw. They're gonna have to make a decision. Do you want to start Dort? Do you want him to come off the bench? They're gonna have to make a decision with that. But they got a lot of different options that they can throw on whoever they going against either given night. So that's what I say. I think this Atlanta Hawks team gonna be a top 5 defensive rating team. If not top 5, definitely top 10. But I think they can be in top 5.
Once again, it is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you joining us for some NBA observations. One last thing about Summer League before we move on from Summer League, and that is with the Portland Trailblazers, a team that normally doesn't get discussed much by anyone outside of Portland. They have their owner there, the cost-cutting owner that they have there, as far as is concerned with what's going on as far as the possible long-term stay or not long-term stay for Portland, because they're locked in a battle as far as the team compared to what they're doing as far as whether or not they're going to stay at what they used to call the Rose Garden, which what I'm familiar with the Rose Garden, it's called the Moda Center now. But I guess there's an impasse right now between the new owner Tom Dundon, who has been criticized heavily about some of the cost-cutting measures he's made already, and the city of Portland as far as who is fitting the bill going forward. I don't know what's going to go on, my friend. It looks interesting. I know that Adam Silver, in his statement press conference over the course of Summer League, that was probably the one thing that people were actually interested in taking away. And the fact that also that they were not as high on getting started some expansion teams. Could you correlate one to the other right now? Because if Portland looks to move, I don't think they'll move to Seattle or Las Vegas. I think that's what I hear. I think they want actual expansion teams in those areas. But the reason why I'm saying is because it just seemed like when he made this press conference that Adam Silver's dialogue was not as excitable or as interesting as far as what he was doing on his last major press conference about those possibilities of expansion teams. And now it seemed to focus in on more on the decisions that still have yet to be made on the future for the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing about the moves that they made. Still having Damian Lillard, who's been out most of last season with his Achilles, so he'll be getting ready to come back. Still having Drew Holiday. Still got a lot of guards. That's kind of
Ja Morant, baby.
and I forgot all about him being there. Cause we don't talk about him no more. He just went to the sunset at this
We
point.
talk about a defensive challenged backcourt with Austin and Luca. Ja and Damian Lillard, that will be that's something.
You
All
know,
right, legend.
I could definitely say when they get out there on the court, I can tell the coach put me in. I'm gonna go buy them, so they don't care. I'm gonna go on and buy them, lay the ball up. They don't care. I only get me 2 points. Everybody can get their parlay off of me, so you make your money. But there's no defense over there.
Kamara's gonna have to earn his paycheck really a lot on that team. I can already see that already, along with Klingon. So with that, its case, Portland themselves, they've got some decisions they have to make as a franchise going forward, and then of course where you put them. We'll go ahead and talk about that as that gets closer to the season. Obviously, they're a team that again, like Atlanta, hard to figure out what is their motivation. The things that they were doing, I thought they were right this time last year. They were starting to prioritize the youth, start to prioritize putting them in advance as far as you know having them sink or swim. I know that Scoot Henderson was injured for most of the season, but he came back and played rather well at times in against
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio. You've got Sharp. I thought they were really committed on him being the future, really scoring guard for their team. 1 year season later, my friend, or one summer later, it looks entirely different. And those guys are now backups to Damian Lillard and John Morant.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how they just looked like they were moving on with Henderson and everyone else, and they was like, yeah, we good. We gonna take a chance for former superstar and a guy who is trying to save his career right now. We gonna take a chance on them. Yeah, we don't. Henderson, you guys can just sit on the bench and just develop over there. You and Sharp, y'all have fun over there, chit chat. Kind of funny how they switched up that quick. I feel like Portland should have still relied on their youth, let them guys develop. And you want to still use John Morant, that's fine. Damian Lillard, I just kind of feel like he at the point of he ain't gonna be the Damian Lillard you had the first go around with Portland. Them days are over, and I feel like they should need to be trying to get your youth ready so you can move the franchise back into relevancy. Because right now you're basically how the Bobcats and the New Jersey Nets used to be. You need a win, go on that calendar and circle that win right there. That's a win. Just go and circle that. Need a shoot around. New Jersey Nets coming up. Up there you go. We're gonna get that in the need a win. Bobcats coming. Yeah. Sorry, Michael Jordan. We're gonna go and beat your team up a little bit. Get a little practice in.
Well, that doesn't even account for the fact that Drew Holiday, you've got somewhere in the mix of all this as far as another guard who
He past his
should get.
moment now.
Yeah, I mean he is an older player now, but he's still someone that might be the best thing or closest thing they have to a defensive perimeter player outside of
Bad
Kamara.
right
So
there.
yeah, so again, I'm gonna have to when it comes to teams like Atlanta and Portland, I'm gonna have to really just like do some really hard thinking about it. You cannot just plug them in and go. It's just like those two teams, Portland, Atlanta, are just two of the teams that I think in a situation where I've seen a lot of teams now in flux on where they're going, and it's really hard right now to ascertain what their future might be because it can look really good in Portland and it can really look not so good in
Right.
Portland for next season as well.
It can go either way. That's the same thing I said about my Hawks. That defensively they look good on paper, but they're still gonna have some offensive issues. So it's kind of hard for even me to say like what this Hawks team gonna be at. Just got to see how the season looks. Same thing with Portland. Have no idea where they're gonna be at, but it's kind of funny when you think about it. Hawks and Portland kind of flip flop with each other a little bit. Hawks good off defensively, weak on the offensive end. Portland got some pretty good offense. Defense probably can't guard a parked car in the yard right now. And that's pretty much how it's gonna be at that point.
So before we head on out, my friend, and once again, it's Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. I wanted to hear your thoughts now that the summer, outside of LeBron and some other minor things where, restricted free agents have to sign. You also have DeMar DeRozan still has to sign somewhere. Players like that, the older veterans, even Russell Westbrook, he's looking for a job somewhere. So with that said, but I think it's pretty much the rosters that you're seeing now, outside of barring any trade,
All right.
are pretty much the rosters now. Who do you think coming out of the free agency period? Who do you think? Who do you think had the best, you know, June July period? Who do you think had that best few week period? Now it's about 3 weeks for the free agency period. Who do you think has come out on top as far as the team that you're saying, you know what, they really did a good job, not necessarily in free agency, but in the past? Who had the best July, do you think, as far as is concerned?
To me, that's super easy. It was pretty much a layup for them. Philadelphia. They literally said, "Here's my bag of money. Here you go. Give me the bag of peanuts. Here you go." That's what Boston pretty much did. So that's the easiest layup you can get. To me, it's Philadelphia. You went and got Jaylen Brown. You basically swapped an old washed up superstar for a young up and coming superstar. That part will never make sense. That this trade is just as bad as the Luka trade. So, I mean, that to me was easy for them. They didn't have to do nothing.
But their season still relies on Joel Embiid.
That's the only thing bad.
If he gives them 50 games and he's ready for the playoffs, I consider it a win because, with Embiid, Jaylen Brown, of course, you've got, VJ Edgecombe, and then you've got Tyrese Maxey. Again, that will be formidable in a playoff setting if they're all healthy going into it. So again, it'll be interesting to see how it lays itself out in Philadelphia. But obviously, the interest in Philadelphia obviously has gone up with the acquisition of Jaylen Brown, indeed. So with that said, are there any other winners, big winners, as far as in your determination, as far as who had a good month of July?
I won't say they in the month of July, but Gerald, I'm gonna surprise you on this one. I think the Lakers did all right. I think they went and got a center, so I give them credit for that part. They went and solved the center issue. Now you got other holes in the roster still, but you got the center part issue. I give them credit, even though you overpaid like crazy for him. But you did solve that issue, so I'll give Rob that much. You went and got a center. You overpaid, but you did too much to get him. But hey, you did get a center. I give you that. Awesome reason I won't even bring that up. Shout out to his agent. Still, I want him to be my agent too. Get me all the money like he did in that meeting. Make them put pillow with my name on it. Yeah, do that for me too.
Again, overpay is the key theme of the summer for Rob Pelinka. And at the very end, Zaire Williams and Matisse Thybulle, again, low risk, high reward signings. But that's just like, oh, I'm going to the store. I grab all this junk food, and I'm headed to the actual checkout counter, and at the bargain bin I see a milk, right there, and I see some other things that I might need. They may not be the freshest. They may not. They may be past their expiration date, but they're on sale, and they've been discounted. They've been cleared, so I got to pick them up. So again, Rob, realizing that he might not have the best defensive roster out there,
Yeah,
realizes his needs, along the wings with those two guys. And
Kessler finna earn that money. You want to play a whole lot of making up for those too.
yeah, and again, I low risk, high reward with their latest two signings. I have, I don't have a problem with it at all, but it's just like, again, you're just addressing your needs and on the biggest gambles of the entire summer with those two. Well, not the biggest gambles, but they're gambles nonetheless as far as what they do. Again, low risk, high reward as far as spending the veterans minimum on each. But it's just not understanding your needs as you plan your summer, and you're just trying to go ahead and get it at the last second. So again, we'll see. If those guys come through, or one of those guys comes through, then then obviously makes things a little bit better for this team. But yeah, overpay seems to be the word of the day. Whether you don't like the fact you paid Walker Kessler over $30 million and he hasn't uh, played a
Yeah,
whole lot, or he hasn't played yet like a top 10 center in the league as of yet. We'll have to wait and see. I think he can become one. I think that they're paying him like he can become one. So the faith is there, but it's just those picks, the versatility you could use those picks in helping build other assets in other parts of your team. I think that's where the miss was there.
that's why I
And
said the same thing too. About it was the picks that got me. I wasn't even mad about the money too much. It's the fact you threw all them picks in there. Almost like you went to Walmart and bought all this cereal. You could have went to Sound Club and got the same thing for cheaper price in books.
yep, I just think it they could have made better decisions. And but again, Rob just does not is not capable of making continuously consistent, solid decisions. And as we're seeing, but again, Kessler is a big gamble, and I think again it will probably pay off as far as his level is concerned of play. But those picks and allowing the Lakers flexibility to go ahead and trade or move players or get players is going to hurt them during the season trade deadline. They won't have as many options as they normally would because they just don't have the picks to support it. So we'll see what happens. But
Got
Kessler,
one
I do
question for
think
you though, Gerald.
yes.
How do you feel about Austin Reed being y'all second best player now?
Again, I was all in on a sign and trade for Austin Reeves as soon as I heard Detroit and the way things have worked out. Again, I would have said, okay, Austin Reeves, you want 45, you want a contract averaging $45 million, go right ahead. We'll go ahead and sign and trade you to Detroit, and instead you'll get back a player in Jalen Duren who cures a lot of those ills defensively and rebounding wise and things of that nature. Yes, he did not have a good playoffs. I understand. Austin Reeves hasn't had a good playoffs. So there you go. But I would have saved my picks. I would have actually gone out and tried to pry Trey Murphy the third and Herb Jones in a package, utilizing those same picks. Probably would eventually New Orleans would have folded because it's the same
Mm-hmm.
team that gave your Atlanta Hawks a
Yeah,
very
we took
yeah
advantage of them, so I know y'all could
yeah.
have.
So there you go on that one, and then utilized second round picks and some pick swaps that I already gave away on Khalil Ware in Milwaukee. Once he got traded to Milwaukee, and get him as a player that you have size, athleticism, and then as far as in the sign and trade, you don't have to pay Duran the same amount of money that you're paying Austin. So in that case, you'll ask for something else or get some else. Ron Holland, who doesn't seem to be, they like him, they don't like him, they don't like him. Just as an extra guy, $9 million coming in there for the Lakers. So you pay Jalen Duren right around potentially the same kind of money that you're paying Kessler now. So I just think again, and plus you get a guy that's 2 or 3 years younger. So with that said, he may fill up the box score in a similar fashion as was Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler may anchor the defense a little bit better, but is Jalen Duren more dynamic? Again, I'll let you decide that, guys out there. But I just think you could have utilized your assets better with a little bit of more foresight and a little bit more thought into it. He rushed into it, and also but Kessler, I think, is going to be very good. I think Kessler is going to be a
Yeah, I do
player.
too.
I think that will play up to his salary at some point. It's those picks that really hurt. I think is what when it comes down to but the overpays on Mamu, the overpays on Grimes, the overpay on Colin Sexton,
and all them
those
player
are the
options.
yeah that I mean you let go of Rui, you let go of Hayes, and you let go of Marcus Smart. Um, if you want to say that Mamu, Sexton, and Grimes are better than those three that left, that's fine. But you're paying them tens of millions. You're paying them a lot more money. You're paying them quite a bit more money than you are paying, or what you could have paid, or end up paying those three guys that left. And I just think, again, when it comes right down to it, you still don't have a starting small or power forward. These guys you're asking, the Mamus and the Grimes of the world, you're asking to step up and be starters in one, at least one of those cases, maybe both, two of those cases. And that's a problem when you're asking these guys who've been primarily backups through the course of their career to take that next step, because it just weakens your bench, and then it also does not give you a NBA quality starter out there in the front court, which is going to be a problem. Going to be a problem that they're going to have to rectify, and I'm not sure Rob Pelinka is qualified enough to go ahead and alleviate that, because it just shows by what this summer that he just tries to throw money at things and to solve all of his problems, and it doesn't quite exactly do it.
Yeah, that's why I agree too. You at this point you gotta try to make it work because it's gonna be hard to make any trades in the trade deadline. Your best trade asset might be Austin Reeves at this point. If you all of a sudden just go to a crowd fest and then just move Austin Reeves, you got at least he long term. Whoever gets him, you got him for a long time. So that might be his only bailout. But if it comes to that point, I mean, I don't think you should have your job no more. So
And again, people will say, "Oh, well, Luca likes it. Well, Luca's happy. Lucas likes it." You know what? Again, if you're a GM, you're basing everything off of what the players want and desire. That means you're not doing your job correctly. You have to divorce yourself from that and be able to choose and make your selections and make your trades and make your acquisitions with your foresight and analysis and your experience, and not cater to it. Because if we brought in players that maybe Luca wasn't sure about or didn't know whatnot, but they ended up being a better team, that ultimately will make Luca happier. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Luca may be happy now, but if his team is not good enough to come close to winning a championship at the end of the season, where does that go
Well,
from here? Is he still going to be happy playing golf with Austin Reeves at that time next summer? Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
yeah, I would hope if he should start asking questions at that point. You know, especially with that contract
Absolutely.
extension coming up.
Yes, absolutely. Well, he's still got another year or two before you have to
Okay.
worry about that. It's Jokic, Joe's fantasy of getting Jokic here, thinking that will pay off, and just him spurning a $360 million extension is, and whatnot, gonna get him here to LA anytime. So I don't want to burn. I don't want to burst Joe's bubble on that, because there is still the possibility that it's there.
Yeah.
But again, when he tells you that he's looking toward 2027 to build something that's going to win or compete for a title, that's hard. That's sad, because then you've just realized you've wasted another year of prime Luca, who again is one of the best players on the planet. When you have one of the best players on the planet, you try to maximize every year, and I just don't think they did. I think they maximized the wallets of a lot of players, but I don't think it ultimately made out to a team that I think can compete as high as I would like them to compete. But we'll have to wait and see, Legend.
Yeah, we're gonna just have to see, but they gotta try to go further in the second round with him. If he don't at least sniff the finals, that's a humongous failure on that front office.
Well, what they're paying, and again, it's the multi-year deals. The one for Grimes for 4 years, Mamu saying, his deal as well. Those are just, yeah, and player options galore on all of them. So again, it's giving all the controls to the players, and that's what Rob is known for. And again, whether you like it or not, it is who it is. But we'll wait and see. Wait and see.
Yep.
I just think, again, Rob is not exactly the individual I would want running the team, but if you think so, if your name is Stefan Piscano and you're so enamored with Rob, and you're still not able to justify why Rob is still or should be in place, there you go, indeed. But again, we'll see what happens with the Lakers. It's still too early to tell. Again, I do think that Zaire Williams and also as well Matisse Thybulle can make a contribution to the team, and they're going to have to because the Lakers will be scoring a lot of points. Will they be able to stop teams? Well, that's remains to be seen on that one. But again, like a lot of other teams, are going to be hard to figure out. But we'll wait and see. We'll go ahead and evaluate them in all good time. But my friend, before we head on out, what you got cooking at I Got Next Sports Media before we head on?
Well, I would definitely say I've been taking a little bit of a break myself, kind of relaxing. I've basically been trying to hold off on doing a stream until Mr. I gotta have the attention James decided to make his decision. So I'm kind of waiting on him to make that announcement, and then I'll do a stream. But I probably will do maybe a short 10-minute or maybe 15-minute live stream, talk about the WNBA, about what's going on in the league with all that controversy that's going on around that league, and go from there, especially around my Atlanta Dreams.
There you go, indeed. But once again, it is I Got Next Sports Media. Go ahead and check out Legend there. Make sure you like and subscribe to his videos as well. So, Legend, it's been great to have you here. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the NBA when some news comes up. I know it's getting pretty dry right now. We'll have to wait and see. But looking forward to when you and I can go on the air again and talk NBA and provide, as always, the best in NBA observations.